we do.
Yay! That's great. Hey, we're doing our best here.
All right. Well, I think we're good.
Hello, everyone.
Yes. Hello, everybody, and thanks for
Sorry
joining us.
about the volume is low.
Volume's low. Oh, it's the mic, babe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotta bring the mic.
Sorry, we're doing a.
We're doing. Oh, look, we have a mic.
You
See?
know us.
Is
Oh.
that better?
Yeah, we
Can't
should
hear
probably
you. Sorry. Is
put
it
it.
turned on? Is the mic working?
Yeah. Here we go. We're gonna
More
crank
volume,
this up here.
please. Is that
All
better?
right. How is that?
Is that better?
Is it okay? Because I think that's the best. Sounds very low. Sound is very quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we are bumped up as much as we can
Is
be.
this turned on?
There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. I mean, we've had people over here who actually know what they're doing and still don't know what they're doing.
Hey, well, we're doing our best. At least we're here. Yeah, we've been gone for a couple weeks, so yay! We have a professional mic. We have some lights. But
I think everybody needed to take a break.
yeah, for sure. So it's great to see everyone, and we've been.
If we could see you, it would be
Yeah,
great.
or we can see you here.
But glad
in
you're
the
here.
Feed. We see that you're talking, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, so
We've taken a couple weeks off.
taken a couple of weeks off and certainly been very busy, very active through this period. In particular, of course, working on the True Fire channel, which I hope you're looking at. We have a couple of nice additions, I think. There's a series called No Talking, and somebody mentioned it in the live stream here.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy about that. The whole idea of the no talking thing was exactly that. You know, it's like, and I'm keeping those things simple and, you know, like, so you can actually see the chord voicings, you can play along with me, and there's no talking. It's not theoretical. It's just, you know, yeah, put your hands here, strum, and here's a piece of music. It's actually like a piece of music. And I want all of you to know that you can take that and take it to your band and practice it with your band, you know, anything like that. You can use it, you know, make use of it. So happy about that.
Yeah,
No
those
talking.
are so cool. And then we're putting them up on YouTube, you know, so keep checking out. He's going to be trying to do one every couple days, right?
Yeah, the no talking, I want it to be every
Yeah,
couple of days.
so
It took us a minute to get that
They're
understood.
super cool. You've been working on some riffs, which
Yeah,
aren't really available except for the
right.
level
I think it's
Level
level
three
two,
or-
3, excuse me, yeah.
level 3 on True Fire, but
Yeah, the private lesson tier now has licks, actual licks, explained, you know, played slowly, and this is real stuff. I never really have done this before because licks, I don't think in terms of licks. I don't play with licks as the idea. You know, the idea is to be playing something beautiful, some kind of a melody, and with some texture and feeling. You know, so licks have always scared me a little bit. It's like, you know, you practice what you play what you practice, and but you have to have some licks, man. It's really true. You do have to have some licks. So I do, from time to time, sit down and actually work something out. It's kind of rare for me, but I'm doing it a little bit more these days, and that's why doing it for you now on the channel, it's kind of fresh for me. Because I'm giving away the store, man. I don't feel like hiding any of this or, you know, I don't want it to be a mystery. I want you to understand that music is actually very accessible, and that the things that are going on can be explained, and that people are not just making things up out of the blue. Except, you know, when you're playing something simple, soulful, melodic, then, you know where those notes are, so you're just kind of playing, you know, playing something that's, you know, is lovely. That's how I kind of think of it, or funky, but not complex. Complex, you have to really, work that stuff out. Otherwise, you can't play it.
Yeah, they're super cool. Very cool. So
So,
hopefully you can.
what was the other thing we wanted
Then
to talk about?
yeah,
Babe?
Daniel Donato.
Ah, yes.
I've been working out it's kind of tedious record deal. We've got a
Well,
little bit of a
the COVID-19, of course, epidemic slowed everybody down. We recorded Daniel Donato, great young guitar player, last December, and that record is done, and it's going to take about another 2 months before it comes out. But keep your ears and eyes out for Daniel Donato. The record's called A Young Man's Country. And you're going to love this. I'm telling you, I'm so proud of it.
really good. It's really, really good. Country record, but
Well,
a lot of like
it's
rock,
country, rock,
rock.
and kind of Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
There's a Grateful Dead vibe to it too. Improvisation, and his band is really good. And man, they went into the studio and played, and that's how we recorded them. Fantastic.
Fantastic. It's so good. So exciting for it to come out finally.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Long time coming.
Yeah, for sure. We'll let everyone know. We've
So,
also been working on the
Paul Franklin. Now this
getting
is
that one going.
Yeah, I mean, Paul is the great steel guitar player, Paul Franklin. He's recently inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, and we haven't gotten into the studio yet, but we've gotten together here at my house. We've talked a lot, and I've written like 4 things for him. He's writing on his own and with another guy. And we're getting together with Vince Gill sometime next week to write for Paul's record. And Vince is going to be very much a part of this album. Paul Franklin plays with Vince, as well as Chris Stapleton and everybody else. And it's terribly exciting to me to get into the studio with Paul and Vince. We'll have a great rhythm section, and also Richard Bennett, another great flat picker, bluegrass guy, but he can play kind of anything. Richard Bennett, you can check him out on YouTube. So it's going to be a stellar band.
Oh, yeah.
So let's answer some
Super
questions.
exciting. Okay.
Let's answer some questions. Are we at the
So
top?
we're going to just start at the top. People started half an hour early asking some questions. So
Tor Eric Fardal, I remember. Hi. I love hearing you talk about your electric guitar journey, but I'm wondering, how has your acoustic guitar path been? Straight to Gibsons or Martins, etc. on the way. All the best from Norway. Thank you. Yeah, the acoustic guitar is something that I like to say I've only flirted with it. I use it, for some kind of backing tracks sometimes. The last album, Purple House, I used acoustic guitar on that quite a bit, just like strumming and playing the song. And that's on that beautiful J45, named after Kelly, called Joy Girl.
sweet.
I think you've seen it along the way, Instagram. I think I played it on here.
No, you played it the first day, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe I think it was the first day.
Well, I also have that B25, which I've played. So the acoustic, and a long time ago, I have a nylon string, but it's actually in storage. Nice nylon string guitar that I played on the Supernatural record, on a couple of songs there. And I really liked that. I really liked the nylon string guitar. And writing on it, and it brought out something in my playing. I like using my fingers. The steel string guitar to me is hard. And so, I use it for playing chords, strumming. I do the cowboy chord thing on that. I can't really play my thing on it. I'm an electric guitar player. I do prefer Gibsons, for sure. All right. Greetings from Germany, Blues 67. Thank you. Michael Lucas. Hi, Robben and Kelly. I'm listening to Tiger Walk. I love your instrumentals. Cool story behind that album, too. Any news on the new release with Bill Evans? That record the formal release has been held off until next year, I think. But
you ever hear back from the record company about being able to?
no. And
We have some copies that we're hoping to sell, but we may not be able to.
yeah, and we made that announcement that we were going to have it up on my website and Bill's website, and that still is the plan. But it's very, I don't know why they're so slow to answer us from Germany on this, because I just thought I should check with them first. And I did indeed do that, and it was about certainly a week ago. Hard to tell what time anymore. But anyway, hopefully we'll at least be able to get those special edition ones up on the website soon.
Yeah, great.
Greetings from Waco, Texas, y'all. Wish you and yours very happy Sunday. Thank you.
Sweet.
Amir Hosseini. Hello, Kelly and Robin. Are we going to listen to the 52 Les Paul? I cannot wait. Yeah, I'm going to demonstrate a little bit for you.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Yes,
all?
Robin's going to play the Les Paul. It's from me.
No, I wrote that.
I know, I'm kidding. No, we'll do all of that at once. It's George Shepard. Looking forward to this. Michael Lucas, I prefer the telly myself. I can dig it, Michael. Warming up with this interview with Lee Anderton. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with Lee Anderton. Amir Hosseini, yeah. Great, I'm looking forward to Robin Live now. Best thing we can ask for. Thank you. Gokul Ram. Oh, hello from Newport, Rhode Island, from Kohog Slim. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. But Gokul Ram from India. What was the most important thing you figured out when it comes to practicing and improvising? That's a good question. The most important thing I figured out. So figured out is a little hard to put it that way. But the thing that helped me the most in every regard to my guitar playing was Mike Bloomfield, the guitarist, blues guitarist, in particular with the Paul Butterfield Blues Band, and then learning chords. Chords are everything, unless you want to be locked into a single style, and I'm not putting that down. Many great guitar players really don't exercise chords. They don't use them. There's a root, there's a lot of fifths, and a lot of wailing, fast-flying fingers, you know? That is really the way the guitar went, kind of in the 80s. The shredding became something. You know, we didn't used to shred. Shredding, whew, it's kind of a rough term. You know, we played. And burning, somebody might be burning, but they would more likely say, he's got something to say. You know, so do you have anything to say? You know? And so for me, I always felt like I had something to express. I don't know about say, but I had so much, you know, passion for music and energy, you know, that finding a way to get it out there, basically I just beat on the guitar, you know, in playing blues, and little attempts at playing single chord vamps, like, you know, but it was all basically pentatonic. And so anyway, chords, that's what opened me up, and learning the scales that run through the chords. And both of these things I got out a couple of books. That was the main thing, because it teaches you the fretboard. And you start hearing, oh, that note out of that scale against that chord. Oh, and I see it's the third here. And wow, the same note as the seventh in this chord. And you start learning the fretboard, you start learning how harmony works.
Sweet.
Leo Giuliani. Hey guys, is Dan still working with for Robben Ford? Dan is definitely still in the loop. He has a little less to do these days because the attention has turned a little bit more toward the channel. But certainly a strong connection with the True Fire people for me, and some other things, communications.
Good friend, good old friend. We're both actually
Known him our whole lives.
Like practically.
Pretty much.
He actually used to be my roommate in my early 20s with him when he was married. Like, he was my roommate. Like, we both actually Dan introduced us to like 30.
That's true.
5 years ago or something.
Yeah, in New York City.
Yeah, so we have a love for Dan for sure.
Diatonic dude. Hi, Robben and Kelly and all. Hi from London.
Oh, look, Michael Gonet. He follows me on Instagram. We're friends.
Hey, Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Thanks
nice
for joining.
To see you. Happy you joined us.
Gotsan Mujika. Yes, we do.
Oh, hear you. Like, I think when we were. This is back when the sound was okay. So here we got.
From Pan. Hello, Robben and Kelly. Hope you're well. Thank you. Michael Lucas sounds okay. We're into all of that.
Okay, then there's.
But tell you what, let's do a little playing.
Yeah.
All right.
Good idea. Yeah, let's do some.
A lot of
we're not going to move the computer. We're going to do it right from here.
Yeah.
So
we'll probably
hopefully everything
have
will
to
be,
move the
I'll
mic.
move this, so here we go.
So bear with us.
Hang on.
And I'm going to demonstrate that 52 Les Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you don't. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Here, I'll get it. Much better.
Okay.
All right. So this is a 1952, Les Paul. I'm checking it out, and I got this from a guitar repairman in Louisiana named Holger Notzel. You can find him on Facebook, Holger Notzel, Notzel. And it's a refin, as I say, 52. So this is a very early Les Paul. And it sounds great. The fretboard, the frets are small. They're like, they may or may not, they're probably not the original frets, but they are the size that came with the guitar. And they're a little small for me.
A little closer?
Well, yeah, sure, why not?
Some people probably didn't see the video of you.
Yeah, so that's relicking that you see there, you know. Everything's backwards. So it's hard to know how to deal with this. So
backwards on the video, not the.
Yeah, for us it's backwards. It's very confusing. Like if I raise my right hand,
It looks.
that's actually my left hand. Anyway, all right, sweetie, take the mic back, would you? I'm gonna just play some loud guitar for a sec. So let's. I think everybody wants to hear this treble pickup and a little overdrive. Yeah? Coming through okay? Okay, so I'm going to move over to the Epiphone because that's a little bit more suited to what I'd like to do here with you. Okay, so changing guitars. That's okay. I'm ready for it. I tell you, this Epiphone has been looming large for me. I think it has a lot to do with just kind of where I'm at in a few different ways. Just comfort, I must say. This guitar is the most comfortable instrument that I have to play. I love the size. I mean, this shape really works for me as a guitar player. I mean, I kind of cut my teeth on 335s initially, as many of you know, and so discovering this Epiphone was just a real, it's been a real joy for me. Make sure I'm proper. Way loud. Oh.
You can turn your volume down then maybe if it's too loud for you.
I'm sorry. Okay. I think it's just the overdrive. It makes it sound loud. Babe, did I ever do that song, Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying, for people here? Don't let the sun catch you crying, crying at my front door. Your daddy done turned salty, he don't want you around no more. Don't let the sun catch you lying, lying at my back door. Your daddy's done turned salty, yes, 'cause you made him so sore. You can cry, cry, cry. Yes, and baby, you can wail. Beat your head on the pavement. Yeah, till the man comes, lands you in jail. Don't let the sun catch you crying, crying at my front door. You done your daddy dirty, and he don't want you around no more. Cry, cry, cry. Yes, and baby, you can will. Beat your head on the pavement. Hey, till a man comes, lands you in jail. Don't let the sun catch you lying. Lying at my back door. Daddy's done turned salty. Yes, 'cause you made him so sore. Your daddy's done turned salty, and I don't want you around no more. That was a song from, well, the original recording was Ray Charles, and I recorded it on a live album called The Authorized Bootleg. It came out a long time ago with my group, the Blue Line, and at that time we had a great keyboard player from Baltimore, lives in Pennsylvania now, named Bill Boblitz. And it's a nice record. It was unplugged. Acoustic bass, acoustic guitar, acoustic piano, and acoustic drums. And it turned out quite good. A lot of people really like that record, and that's the one place where you'll find me performing that song. So I'm going to do one more for you, and I think I'm just going to do an improvisation. Yeah. And then we'll come back and answer some more questions. Okay. Okay.
So great. Oh my God, you guys. You got a treat. That was so fantastic.
Well, you know, we have a motto here around the old rancho, which is not afraid to be a fool.
That's right.
So that was indeed just an improvisation, unplanned. And of course, you know, any musician has things under his belt, you know, that he can draw on. Maybe higher up? Yeah, I don't want that between you and me. I don't want anything to come between you and me. All right, so let's talk to some people.
Okay, let's go.
Kelly, how do we find you on Instagram? Jay McLovin.
Milam Kelly. It's not very exciting. It's just,
Milam. And yes, she is.
no, I'm not.
Milam Kelly, you should check out.
No.
Yes,
Not,
Milam
like,
Creative Arts.
I'm just like,
Yeah, she's really great.
no.
Oh. Cello Foods, yeah. Nice looking Gibbo. Gibbo. Oh, I think you mean the 52 then? Yeah, 'cause I was just playing the Epiphone. I was confused.
Well, these are like earlier, I guess. These are, yeah. Okay.
We saw you unpacking it. He makes Comet amps. Yes, you're right. I'm so glad you brought that up. He's the Tom Minute. No, Slow H.
Slow H.
Yes, Holger
Makes them
Notzel makes Comet amps. I've not tried them yet. Kelly and I have been thinking about going down to Louisiana as soon as it feels right. Just make a trip down there. Be nice. I haven't met him in person yet, but he's helped me. He's now helping me with my second guitar. Okay. Lydia Nunez Gordo. Hi, Robin. Will we see you in Barcelona someday? When does all this happen? Yeah. Sorry, man. Who knows? Just nobody knows.
I just don't know anything these days. It's so wild. This is so wild, isn't it? It's crazy these days.
For sure. Robson Matos. Great,
There's-
Robin. Greetings from Argentina, Brazil.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sweet. Yeah.
Da Silva. So, Robin, would you do a conversation on the 50?
Conversion.
Conversion.
52. Putting PAX on it.
I've been told that it might be a candidate, and I have a pair of PAFs that are just insane. So some of you saw me, I think, demonstrate, maybe talk about that 54 to 59 conversion, that beautiful burst, you know, refinished and everything. And the neck angle's just off just a little bit. So for playability, I think the conversion wasn't the greatest idea, but the pickups are amazing. So I'm considering it. I am. All right. Michael Luke's excellent. Pan, Rocket, Lydia Nunez. Yeah. Diatonic Dude, sounds sweet. Sound man did wonders.
Oh,
Yeah.
We-
Did he?
Actually, I think we did it.
The sound man wondered.
I think we're actually kind of getting this down after like 5 weeks.
Sounds killer.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah, everyone loved it. Look at that. What is he playing here? Around a certain scale?
Oh, let me see that one.
Right here?
Okay, from M. Bach 1187. What is he playing here around a certain scale? So basically, the fundamental vamp that I just kind of got into was A minor to E minor. And after that, I changed keys. I went to E. I remember doing all of this, and I just kind of jammed in that E for a while. And I was flirting with major and minor, you know, in the key of E. Like, it started off minor and funky, and then I just hit a big, bright, open, major-sounding chord, you know. And these are the things, people. I'm telling you, these are the things. This is what makes the difference. What people like is to be surprised, you know. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It just has to be a surprise, you know. You just suddenly, you know, do something. And playing with a band, if you're playing with other chordal instruments, you know, you definitely have a structure. And so naturally, you have to be aware of what they're doing. And it puts you in a certain, you know, harmonic framework. And it's like, okay, that's what we're doing. But if you're playing with a trio, just guitar, bass, drums, you have a tremendous amount of freedom, and that's the beauty of the trio. It's also the tremendous challenge of the trio because you're it. But shifts, light, dark, soft, loud, in the middle, cruising. Oh, something happened, So, now they're climbing a mountain. Okay, or we're going down into the deep blue sea. Journey.
Journey. So he wants to know about the amp.
Is that the little Walter or the Fender you're plugged into? I'm playing through this Fender Vibrolux, that custom reverb that I had modified by Nashville Amp Services. They did an amazing mod to it, and the little Walter, it's just a little too loud for these things. They sound fantastic, but just a little too loud for the room, and so I'm using this because it actually has a natural reverb that I'm using instead of a pedal, and that just sweetens it up a little bit. And again, I'm using it for this function here. You'll probably be seeing me playing the Little Walters live once I finally get out there again. And we might do a show at Third and Lindsley here in Nashville in July. I think I'm booked. I was supposed to play in June. Now we're looking at, I think, late July. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Les Paul sounds great, but I suspect you could make a Squire Strat sing with your fingers. Oh, well, thank you. Sweet of you to say. I would have a hard time doing that, man.
So much love,
It's very loud. Can you turn it down? I'm sorry.
Okay, we're just going through those.
Marcel Denelza, Robben, you're awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, super sweet.
Heads up from Vipul Chagotra. Starling Productions, best audio to date.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
For your talking and the guitar amp.
Yay!
Great.
And this looks like somebody who knows.
Yeah. Starling Productions.
There's Michael Gonet again. Hi, Michael.
Tom Monet. Sweet. Radio 5051. What amp are you using, Robben? So that's that Fender Vibrolux custom that has been modified. It's got a larger transformer in it. Nashville Amp Services. Love this song. Not heard it since the Authorized Bootleg album from Jonathan Hanks. Thank you, Jonathan. That's a good song. Maybe you've heard the Ray Charles version. It's quite old. Some of the newer Asian Epis are quite nice playing-wise. Wondering if your 60s beauty has that substantial wide neck I love and that feeling of solidness. It's the opposite. It's kind of a rounder neck, which I like, and very woody and kind of light, not so solid. I think you probably like that combination of solid and electric, and I totally get that. For me, it's a real different animal, the Epiphone for me. It's like my jazz guitar, honestly. It's my jazz guitar, Hey.
Reminds me of some music by Gershwin.
MLJNLK reminds me of some music by Gershwin. That is a big compliment. Thank you very much.
Sweet. Wash hands, wash hands.
Cello Foods, yeah.
So sweet.
Paolo Montrone, claps.
So
Blues 67, claps. Michelle Tachi, beautiful as always. Thanks, Robben and Kelly. Entropy 69, hello from Cumbria. Robben, your songwriting and composition on Supernatural stands shoulder to shoulder with the greatest classic albums of all time. Much flattered there. Thank you. Might you have another album of this ilk in you? Lee.
Yeah, you got one in the works here. Maybe we should tell them about whether this is.
All right. I wasn't sure that's what you were referring to. Yeah.
It's coming.
So I will be in the studio this year, making at least one new record, and I'm going to try to do two. Neither will come out until next year, I'm afraid, for obvious reasons. But yeah, the first is going to be an instrumental record. So not akin to Tiger Walk in that it will be a very strong instrumental kind of rock album. And not quite the kind of prettier and songwriting-y things that I've been doing last few years. And once I get that dialed in, I'm going to do a live performance. And this is what Kelly's referring to. Basically, a little bit of a retrospective of, songs from my past that I just particularly like. And some new compositions as well, some things that haven't been recorded before. And with an expanded group. I'm gonna include strings. I'm gonna include have at least 2 other guitar players with me, percussion, upright bass and electric, drums, an expanded group, and maybe I'll even get Paul Franklin to come out and play some steel with me, maybe some background singers. So this will be like kind of unplugged, but electric as well. Jay McLevin, Kelly, how do we find you on Instagram? We answered that one. Phil and Catherine Muzio, Robben, how would you compare your technical chops and creativity today with 20 years ago? Well, technical chops is an interesting question. I think I was a little faster and more facile at one time. That comes with youth. You've got all that chi flowing through your body. Chi is the whole thing, by the way. It really is. And having energy moving through your body. It's not muscular. Certainly not muscular anymore. My hands are trained, but it's a chi thing. So that's where I don't need to practice the guitar. I need to do more qigong. But as far as the creativity, definitely way up. And it's very interesting how it happens. It's a great question, actually, because all of us kind of think about it and look at that. By continuing to just sort of lean into something, songwriting is a very good example. It can be guitar playing, when you continue to lean into something, I believe it's your brain. Your brain takes care of it. Your intention to do something is paramount, and that you continue to do it and continue to do it and continue to push yourself and research. Listen to other things to get inspired. Your brain starts to do things, man. So we don't have to count on ourselves, so to speak. Like, what is creativity? And this one Zen teacher described that. He said, creativity is a water table. So it's under the ground. Anybody can tap into it, right? So you just you take whatever path, you want to tap into creativity. It could be, finance. It could be anything, and you can tap into creativity. Music's just another one of those things that you can continue to find things, and and I really believe that your brain does the work. It will do the work. You're opening up channels by continuing to just work that muscle, and things start to open up. So thank you for that question. And yes.
It's a really good question.
Yeah. And for me, I feel very good on the creative tip because I'm more free. Not because I'm better. It's because I'm more free. And that's just time and putting things into it, and your brain takes care of everything else. Also, you should do qigong and maybe meditate. Too much TMI. Eric Gruber, can I ask your approach to the song Thoughtless off your live record? Love the solo in that. What a tone. Hey, thank you, man. That's one of my favorite songs I've ever written. It's really quite a journey. I was playing the Sakashta 2 feathers guitar that he made for me on that. Of course, through the Dumble amplifier. And I'll tell you what, rooms that you're in, microphones, of course, that you're using, where you're sitting in relationship to the guitar, if the amp's in the other room, and you're just hearing it through here. There are a lot of things that make up a performance, And I'm really happy with the way that turned out. And I was just playing to the chords, and trying to play something beautiful. Thank you for that.
You can come up here. What is your
Jeff
most
Stoner, hi guys. That one?
Yeah.
Hi from Portsmouth, England. What is your most used tuning? Standard open tuning. I don't really use tunings. I've fooled around with it just a little bit, but I generally, 99% of the time, I'm in standard tuning. Occasionally, I'll tune down a half step.
What did it tell us about mics for guitar from Alex Fornari?
Robin, please tell us about mics for guitar. Okay, I use a Royer ribbon mic and a 57. That's generally it. And sometimes I will put a room mic back off the amp, because my amp's loud, And sometimes we'll mic it from behind. But generally that's not necessary. The Royer, the 57, I like them, I don't put things right up on the screen. I just can't stand it when engineers just go, right up there. No. That's known as close miking, and it has an effect, and I don't care for the effect. So I'm always back as far as I can go before the engineer gets unhappy. So generally it'll be like 4 inches, probably 4 to 5 inches. And then I'll have a microphone back here, which that can change, and I'm afraid I'm really not too hip to it. That said, depends on your cabinet, your amp, and your speakers too, I think.
So Adrian Sylvester wants to know if you played on Daniel's record.
Daniel Donato's record, no.
Just produced it.
Yeah.
For every
Produced
sound.
the heck out of it.
Every sound of that record is so good. Yeah.
I mean, basically, I just kind of sat back and a little bit of guidance here and there, and it's like, producing really is hiring the right people, the right spaces, the right place, And in particular, with a guy like Daniel, he's a very strong artist. He's got strong direction. He doesn't need to hear from me, But I can make them comfortable, make sure that it sounds right, and steer them in the right direction from time to time. If things are starting to get off the rails a little bit, I know how to bring it back or stimulate it. It's subtle things like that that basically come from years of experience. So that's where a guy like Daniel can profit from a guy like me. Is I've done it so much, and it's still a little new to him, although he's incredibly bright and very talented. And I get a real kick out of him as a person. Like him a lot. Good dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. We love Daniel. Eric Gruber. May I ask you
We did that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that one.
Olaf Vinstad. Hi, Robin. Have you ever played Gibson Pro Deluxe Les Paul? Pro Deluxe Les Paul. No, I have not. I'm sorry. Would love to hear you play. Red Shark would love to hear you play an amp like Trainwreck without a master volume and hear you move that volume control to manage gain. Yeah, I remember hearing about the Trainwreck amps a long, long time ago. I like an amp generally that gives me a little bit more versatility. And this is where I've been really behind with amps. Different amps serve different purposes. And this is why Eric Johnson, he used to have a bunch of amps on stage with him, for different things, and it's great, but it's sure a lot to carry around. So for me, the Dumble and a pedal board with minimum effects keeps me, it always kept me on track. It's like, play some music with what you got right here. Play some music. Can you play some music with this right here? And so I've always kept things simple in that way. But I'd love to play through a Trainwreck. I've always wondered about them. I've known about them for 30 years. So.
Okay, we're it just moved all the way to the bottom.
So, there was a jump?
Yeah.
Huge fan from Brazil who collects all your records since the first with your brothers. Antonio, thank you.
So sweet. What's the overdrive, please?
Dominic Surdin, every time the first element is a major key, Every tune, every time, the first element is a major key. I'm sorry, Dominique, I don't quite understand the question.
Oh, here, he started it here.
Oh, what do you think about a link between the key and all chords?
Every time the first element is a major key.
I still don't quite understand, but basically you have a chord and you have a scale that runs through the chord. And you always want to make sure that that's what's going on, you know. This chord, it has one scale that runs through it, and you want to be on that. This is why jazz throws people a lot, because the chords are changing so quickly, and people wonder, how the heck can you play through all those chords so fast? And I couldn't agree more. I can't do it. I can do a little bit, but not really.
Steve Jelly.
Hi, Stevie T. Jelly.
Stevie T.
Hi, guys. Love Faye Scotland.
From Scotland.
From Scotland. Do your fingers ever hurt? Thumb picking hand tips. My first chat. Thumb picking hand tips. I don't really do. I don't know. It's hard for me to describe what I do with my right hand, because it was always just instinctual. And I always say I hit the string with the finger that's closest to it. You know, not to be facetious at all. So as far as fingers hurting, again, this is one of the reasons why I don't really play acoustic guitar. Acoustic guitar likes to have kind of heavier strings and hurts. My fingers generally don't really hurt, but I can experience some pain. And as a little story from some time ago, back in 2000, I toured with Phil Lesh and friends. And that was a 2.5-hour concert of non-stop guitar playing. And man, my knuckles were sore for 3 months after that tour, and I'm not exaggerating. It was just, you soloed for 2.5 hours. It's ridiculous. Now, there was one here, I wanted to have a joke.
A joke?
Yeah. It was, what was the first concert you attended? I don't know that I can really answer that. That's a tough one. But I grew up in 2 hours north of San Francisco, so we had a lot of opportunities to see a lot of different people. The first thing that I remember, and I don't think it exactly made me want to play the guitar, but I'll never forget, in grade school, there was a music series that happened in the high school auditorium. I might have been 8, I wasn't in high school. I wasn't in junior high school, so I was very young. And there were these 2 Spanish dudes. I think it was 2, but what was outstanding to me was they were Spanish, and they were dressed kind of in Spanish, not like Mexico type, but Spain kind of outfits. Probably a little like flamenco attire, like Beatle boots, like we used to call Beatle boots. And the guitarist was playing some kind of a Gibson that was sunbursty. Might have been a J45, something like that. And he had his foot up on a stool. He was standing, foot up on a stool, and just strumming chords, like with a pick and everything. And I'll never forget it. It's just embedded in my heart and mind. And it's just a beautiful memory.
How old were you?
I'm 8, 9.
Wow.
My mom and I, went to this. And again, it wasn't like I went, I want to be a guitar player, That epiphany was, I want to be a saxophone player, when I heard a saxophone player when I was in the 5th grade. But it's just in there. God, I wish I could go back. So my first concert, yeah. So I wanted to tell you that I played my first concert at 8, and the promoter was pretty upset because I was supposed to go out at 7:30.
How do you channel your chi from diatonic dude?
Uh, I, I don't. I don't think I don't know how to channel my chi. Chi is functioning, and of course, or you'd be lying on the floor right now. Chi is there, you know. So really, it's a matter of relaxation and allowing chi to flow, you know. So, and you know, being in kind of a heightened state, which is um, being in front of people, you know, where there's a chance of making mistakes, you're being watched, you know, that boosts your chi, right? It's fight or flight, right? So you're kind of in the fight or flight mode, and everybody's watching you. There's no telling what might happen here. So a heightened situation, right? And your chi's up. Like the way I play right here, I don't play like that sitting on the couch. I don't practice like that, you know? So performing in front of people is a big opportunity. And so it's really allowing yourself to relax in a situation that is, you know, uncertain. Relaxing with uncertainty and sticking yourself out there and relax, you know. It's a big challenge.
Totally. Kind of amazes me how relaxed it can be. I think it's like actually
No choice.
I think it's one of the what makes you so good. I think that it allows your chi to flow.
Right.
Actually, when you actually relax, like
Yeah.
I think when anyone gets tightened up, I think that can cut off the chi. And you do
No question about it.
you have this thing where you go on stage. You actually are quite relaxed.
Yes.
I mean, you just sort of let go at a certain point. You just let go of it all and you just go for it.
Absolutely.
And I think I think that's one of your secrets.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think
but
that lets the chi flow.
it does. You have to do that. It's like martial arts, right? Like karate, hard sport, you know. Qigong, Tai Chi, soft, right? And they say that the hard, you know, in the beginning, if you have a beginning karate student and a beginning Qigong student, you know, Kung Fu, karate guy's going to kick your ass. But after a couple of years, karate guy doesn't have a chance. Okay, just a couple more, babe, all right?
Okay.
You have something?
What's the overdrive?
Oh, yeah.
Summon
Yeah, I was using the Zen drive it's been on my board for a very long time. And I adjusted the settings from where it normally is to play with this guitar. And of course, you're not really hearing exactly what's, you know, happening on this side. But that overdrive has just been pretty consistent with me. I've also been fooling around with this thing from Full Tone. Somebody can probably remind me. I put it aside. Gosh darn it. I can't think of it. But yeah, overdrives, you know, you really need to experiment with them. But the one I've been using for many years is the Zen drive. Okay, one or two more. I have a Dumble too, Dominique Cerdan. Congratulations.
What do you think about a link between the key and all chords from the same guy?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know we're trying to answer your question. A link between the key and all chords.
Okay, so
Every chord has a scale that runs through it.
okay.
A lot of nice comments here. I'm sorry we can't. Are you from Ed, are you very choosy with what you're listening for a possible fear of subconscious influence on you? Can you also play anything that you hear in your head? Are you very choosy with what you're listening for a possible fear of subconscious influence on you? Can you play anything you hear in your head? And basically, it's all very connected. I am an improviser, and I know the fretboard so well, at least in the way that I know it. I carved my path up the hill. If I got on somebody else's path, I might get lost. But I've carved my path up the hill. And so I know where it's going, and I can drive it really fast, and very doubtful that there's going to be any kind of a train wreck. But I can't play complex things super fast. Things that I've never played before. You play things that you know how to play, and so my chop is to just play them a little differently, but not terribly, not a lot of big changes. Improvising is like if you hold a note for 3 seconds this time, and let's say you hold it for 5 seconds the next time. That's an example. You play C, F, and G. You play F, C, and G. Little things. Hi, James Abraham. Hi, Robben. I think Joni Mitchell is one of the all-time greatest songwriters. I was wondering what influence she may have had on your writing. Thanks. I can't, think to suggest Joan as an influence on my songwriting would be like suggesting that, Johann Sebastian Bach was an influence on my writing. It's just too high. So, no. I just can't. I'm just not that good. You know what I mean? It's like influenced by John Coltrane from afar.
This one.
From Dylan Brisbane. Hey, Robben, big fan from Australia. Really been enjoying your lessons on TrueFire. I feel like I've progressed a lot and become a much better player. Thank you so much. Yeah, we love hearing that, and it means a lot.
Means a lot.
Yeah.
Robin's been really working hard on these lessons and really wants people to be a part of them, and you can really interact with him on there, and it's one of his ways of being able to be in touch with you directly. And so please, we keep talking about it, but it's like the main thing you've got going these days. So and it's where a lot of the energy is going, and it's really important.
And the private lesson part of the channel there, I'm very much engaging with people. It's still not live yet. We hope to get live, but definitely relating directly to what I see and experience, in your video, and I send you my video, response, and we chat a little bit, and it's good.
It's really sweet, and that's where you get to hear the licks.
That's where you get to hear the licks. Licks.
I get to hear the licks.
Everybody likes them licks.
I'm gonna plug in the power real quick.
Plug in the power?
Running out of power.
Okay. Well, we should probably kind of wrap it up, Kelly, don't you think?
Yeah, I think we can.
Hi, Robben. Love your music and, of course, your guitar playing. Can you tell us something about the Bob Dylan sessions you did? Did you listen to his latest song at 79? I Contain Multitudes. So Dylan is 79? Is that what you're saying? I guess he would be. That was a blast. I recorded one day with Bob Dylan. And he was completely inaccessible personally. And that's kind of his shtick. I think it's shtick. To keep the mystery. Oh, Bob, I hope you're not watching, and I know you're not. But the band was incredible. We had a great band. And Don was the producer, who's proved himself to be quite the producer. And what was cool was, or I should say kind of what I noticed, at the end when Dylan, we were actually all in the control room together, the whole band, engineer, everybody, producer, and Dylan's sitting there and he's wearing a hoodie, says NYC on it or something, and a baseball cap under the hoodie, and sunglasses, and jogging pants, and motorcycle boots. And he's sitting there in the chair, and he wouldn't talk really, hardly at all day. He'd just start playing. When we were in the room, he was behind gobos. Out in the room, we were all in the room together, and he would just start playing something, and we'd all start playing, and then he'd just change it and start playing something else, and we'd all just start playing. And this might happen 3-4 times, and suddenly he hits on something that he digs, and we're all playing it with him. And then he would just start fishing around he had a table in front of him with pages of lyrics. He'd look at this, and he'd look at that, put it down, look at this. And then he'd just start trying to sing something with the words, And that's how the songs came together in the studio. Very unique, and it was cool. And then at the very end of the day, I didn't know it was the end of the day because it was only like 5 o'clock. We'd only been there like working for like 4 hours or something. And we're in the control room, and he says, how many tapes did we make, Don? How many tapes did we make? This is so funny. And he goes, I think 5, Bob. And he goes, okay, I think that's it. And I can't remember if he stood and walked out, but we were all like, no, that can't be it, This is great. And you really had a feeling, man, he carries history with him big time, that's where legend, it's just amazing, actually. It was like meeting George Harrison. Was like that. And certainly getting to play with him, for him, was like, this is legend, man. This is monumental. And that's what it was like with Dylan. It was like, and you did not want it to end. And I said to Don, you got to let me come back, man. And he said, everybody says that, Robben, but the concept of this record is a different band every day, except the bass and drums. They remain the same. Other than that, the band changed every day. You had the Vaughn brothers in there one day, every day a different band. So that was spectacular, actually. It was great. Okay.
There's
Anything?
one guy who wants to know, he said, to learn from you on True Fire, what would be the pre-required knowledge?
There's no pre-required knowledge. There's a beginner's course and an intermediate course, and you can access either one. They're open to anybody who subscribes. So I start, it's called Guitar the Way I Learned It. And I start at the very beginning. I start with basically, talking about how the guitar is tuned to the pentatonic scale. And then we learn the pentatonic scale. And then we learn a couple of chords. And then we learn a couple of licks to play with these things. And it just very step by step goes up. And I did take a leap at a certain point. I don't remember, about 20 lessons in, maybe a little less. I kind of took a leap and started talking about theory. And that was, I think, too soon. And so I've started adding lessons now that kind of pick up where I left off before the theory. I think I should make an announcement to that effect, because they're all showing up as like now the next lesson, as if you understand this stuff already. And that was, just kind of a mistake on my part in laying it out. But trust me, you can start learning how to play the guitar right away. And I like it, I want to make it so that people are actually playing music kind of right away. So, within a few lessons, you're playing something. In time. That's actually as simple a thing as you could get on the guitar. And I think people who are beginners, they like, man, this hurts. And yes, it does. I remember blood blisters. Then you develop calluses and they're peeling, and it's a thing. But now my fingers, you can't even tell I have them.
Calloused.
But they are.
Are they?
But you can't tell. Yeah. Just a tiny bit rough. So anyway, I would say jump in.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and
If
you
you
know
have
you can always
questions,
jump out.
you can get on and ask questions on the chat. There's like a little chat.
Channel feed.
Channel feed, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm definitely paying attention to that. There's a forum, and I haven't been good with the forum, and I'm sorry about that. It's just kind of too much for me because all the rest of it takes up a lot of my attention. So
You're gonna pay more attention on the forum, I think.
I don't know. It would be great, but wow, this is a big endeavor. What we're doing here, we're trying to do it really well. So, I apologize for not being engaged in the forum on the channel. It's just a lot. We'll see. All right.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
I think we actually had our first successful.
You think?
I think this was a
Think we got it?
one. I think we actually pulled it off. Yeah. So.
Well, we made a point
Yay.
of not moving back and forth.
Yeah, that was a better idea. So.
I like
you,
the couch better.
But this is.
But we might be able to include it all.
Thank you so much. I think we're.
Let's see the very bottom.
Okay. I've been at it for years, but I'm feeling desperate to make more progress.
And was that?
Let's see.
Thanks. I've been looking for another learnings.
He goes,
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're the gentleman, right?
yeah.
Person.
Steve Langford.
Yeah, I dig it. I totally dig it.
Desperate to
If
make more progress.
If you come to the channel, and again, you can always jump off if you're disappointed in the communication, but I will relate to you.
Yeah, come on, Steve. Get on the channel, and we're gonna remember Steve. You relate.
We are going to remember Steve Langford.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We're here
remember
for you,
Steve.
bud.
Yeah, so get in touch. It's just super cool. Thank you so much, everyone, for
Thanks,
spending
everyone.
Sunday.
A pleasure.
And stay safe, and we'll see you next Sunday. I think we could do it.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.